Hello. Welcome to the Katherine Cook Show. I'm a leadership development coach and owner of Kadina Coaching, and I love helping people go further than they thought possible. So have you seen the Lethal Weapon movies or the episode of How I Met Your Mother where they talk about the Lethal Weapon movies? In them, Roger Murtaugh, who's played by Danny Glover, keeps saying, "I'm too old for this ish." But then he does something like jump off a bridge or deal with an explosion or something else that just proves that obviously he's not too old for it. Which makes me ask, how old is somebody really when they're too old for this? I looked at an interview with Betty White. Betty White is 94 years old, and that woman is amazing. She's doing comedy routines. She's amazing on Saturday Night Live. And overall, she's just been absolutely unreal. And speaking of women that are absolutely unreal, my guest today is Elaine Victoria Gray. Hi, how are you?
How are you? How are you, Katherine?
Good. Elaine is an actor, a director, a writer, an artist, and the founder of the Watertown Center for the Arts. And I have a special soft spot for people who manage to go back to school later in life because over 30, I don't know how I could deal with the teens and the early 20s. Elaine went back when she was 55 years old. She not only just went back to school, she went to the Harvard Extension School, where only 1/5 of 1% graduate with degrees. And Elaine got 2 of them. So Elaine, how did you do this?
I plugged along day by day, but I made the commitment that I was going to do it. I became a candidate. That took me 3 years.
Okay.
I entered in 1997, and I graduated 10 years ago. So this
Congratulations.
is my 10 years. Yeah, thank you. I graduated in 2006.
Now why? What made you say, I'm 55 years old, I've got a husband, I've got kids, I've got I've got life going on, I'm going to go to Harvard and kill myself, basically.
Right. Well, what I did was I grew up as a child in Cambridge along the river, and I used to always see the Harvard students. So it was always like something in my background that wanted me to do that. I actually tried became a candidate in other colleges, and so I had run for office in
Really?
my
I
town.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I did read something about that. Yeah, and you won too.
Well, I did. I became zoning. I was appointed as a zoning officer and first chairman of the board, and I was on there for 14 years. But then I ran for town council, and I said, if I win the race, good. If I don't, I don't. So I ran a really strong campaign, and when the margin was so small and I didn't win the second time, I submitted my papers again and got all my signatures, and my husband said, if you run this time, I'm not going to be happy, because it was, really, you're doing so much. So I withdrew from the campaign, and when I started seeing the signs go out, I went crazy. So I said, I will withdraw formally if you promise to support me. I want to go to Harvard.
Nice.
And I went and I signed up, and that was quite a distraction. So I never looked back. And I just kept moving forward, and semester after semester, made friends with the young students. And it was great because I could teach them things and they could teach me. I joined every study group I could.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I plugged along for the 9.5 years. And the last year, what was amazing.
Wait, did you just say you actually went through all this and you plugged away for 9.5 years?
9.5 years.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's how long it took.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you. But what really was amazing was, as an adult learner, it is difficult when you're going to be doing, Greek literature and language and mathematics and Shakespeare and all that. So I decided that I was going to take one of those difficult classes, and I was going to supplement it with acting, directing, something that I always loved.
Okay.
And all kinds of dramatic art courses. And at the end, my last year, my advisor said to me, do you realize you've taken enough classes in dramatic arts that you can petition the university to give you a field of study in dramatic arts. And when you graduate, you'll not only get your liberal arts degree in the humanities, because that's where I place most of my attention, and you will be getting a field of study at the same time, and I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the field of study like a minor? I'm not.
Oh, it's like a major.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's similar to a major in the extension school.
Okay.
Yeah, and in 2003, when I got my associate's degree at Harvard, I was granted the Jonathan Bach Award for Public Service, and given the Harvard coin.
Oh, nice.
I was given it. Yeah, it was.
Oh.
That was amazing.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think graduating and doing my associates helped me push me through for the next year. You know, the next journey.
Now, I understand you primarily do acting now. How old were you when you decided to start acting?
Right after graduation, with
Okay.
that field of study, I started sending out to casting directors, and you know, put myself on the agencies, the 3 major agencies that I knew about in Boston area, Boston Casting, Carolyn Pickman, and Ann Mulhollow, LDI. And so I submitted to all of them, and it took. Oh, and also South Shore Casting, Jody Purdy. And Jody Purdy gave me my first opportunity to work as an extra in The Rude, the Mad, and the Funny, David Garfield's movie. And from then on, I started getting calls, and I started working. I've done 30 feature films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what has it been like being older than some of your peers when you're going through all of your different adventures?
It was wonderful because they embraced me. Most of the students were living, you know, on campus or off campus and away from their families. So they looked to me as an advisor, a mom. Yeah, yes. And I looked to them as children. My children were all grown, and I looked to them as young people. I love mentoring young people. Matter of fact, I became a mentor at Harvard for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, and so just being with them and asking them for help, and as they would ask me, because I would have live knowledge from having a business and you know, just my life experience.
So what have been some of the challenges you faced?
At Harvard, or
Just in general, because what you've done is at Harvard, starting acting, you've done a lot of things that most people would have said, I'm too old for this, so
Right.
I'm not going to. I'm going to, I don't know, sit in my rocker and do something else.
Right.
What have been some of the challenges that you faced as you've been doing all of these things that most people would say they couldn't do them?
Well, I always made lists. One of the things I did was make lists and say, you know, bucket list.
Okay.
These are things that I'd love to do. Being an actor was one. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to do it. But and then when I founded the Art Center as a young mother, in 1974, and it took 30 years to build the Art Center. Eventually, opened the doors to the Art Center, raise the money, and do all that was necessary to build an art center, along with teams, many team players. But I always tried to reinvent myself. You know, I want to do this. I mean, life's too short. I want to do no matter what it is. I would be a fan of, I get big pieces of paper and I draw my circles and make my little satellite, and I put everything on it, and then I draw the lines to them, and I decide what's my next adventure. I want to do this. Should I move in that direction or that direction? And make my choices.
Okay, and so are making those choices and those lists how you got to be one of the 14 fabulous women over 40, according to Imagine magazine?
I think so. I think
Tell me
so.
about this.
Yeah, well, that's me right there. And there are 14 of us, and we all have unbelievable backgrounds. And
I know some of those women, they are
I'm not the
amazing.
oldest, but I'm among the oldest.
Okay.
There's only 2 of us, I think, that are older than the other girls. But we made the centerfold as well.
Oh, you're a centerfold. You can
Yeah,
actually
a
say
centerfold.
you're
I
officially.
always want, who wouldn't want to be a cover girl?
Yeah.
And a centerfold. And we made a fast friendship. We're all friends now, and we're cover sisters, we call ourselves.
Oh,
and
nice.
we still talk every day. And it took us a month or two to plan this, believe it or not. You think it's a one-day shoot, but it's not. We planned and planned. But
Well, if you're an artist, a writer, a director, an actress, and everything else, I know that getting on your schedule's a little tough.
yeah.
And then imagine 14 other women that are doing just about as amazing things.
Right, right. But as far as scheduling, when I do something, a big project or whatnot, at my age, I just recharge my battery. This past 2 months have been very busy because we've done 5 films, and 3 of them were short films, which I hadn't done. My goal on my bucket list now is speaking. I want speaking parts. So I'm working towards training. I'm always taking classes. I'm still taking classes all the time. Training my voice, training my memorization. As you get older, it's a little harder. So that's on my bucket list, and I'm working on it. And I've been very fortunate. Brian Casey of BC Films gave me an opportunity to be in Quiet. We were in it together.
Yes.
He wrote me in a role as Principal Barnes, and I'm so excited about that and seeing it in its finished product. And then he appreciated my work enough to ask me to direct his last little short film, and we did that. He's the producer and the writer, and I directed the film.
And what's it
it's
called
called
again?
Late.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we have some really great things to look forward to. And as you know, we had a wonderful cast, and we had a wonderful crew. And I don't know,
I heard your assistant director was fabulous.
she was fabulous. She's right here. Katherine, you were.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
No, you're not kidding. You were. It wouldn't have happened
Thank
without
you.
you. You organized everything. It was amazing. And didn't we
Everybody
have,
else made it easy too.
didn't we have so much energy? It was like,
fun.
I felt like, it just felt like this is going to be fabulous.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I gotta say, I felt like, because it was an overnight shoot.
Right.
And around 3 or so in the morning, I was thinking, I am too old for this. And then I was looking around, I was like, wait, I'm one of the youngest people here. I can't say that, can I?
No, and I was saying, I think I need a chair at this point.
I needed
chair
a
would be
nap.
good. Yeah.
But we got through it, and we did
Yeah,
well. And
we
we were
did.
still sane-ish.
Yeah, we
And
were.
doing well
Yeah.
at 8 in the morning.
I know. I actually drove home. So, in that, sometimes when I come to Providence or Newport, I don't drive home. I stay at a hotel because it's difficult. But I was so energized, I could make the trip.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah, I drove home, but I drove 2 blocks. So one thing, I have been, and I'll be honest, I just turned 40, and it's been a real struggle for me. Because I feel like I'm just starting to come into who I am, and then you look at it, and technically my life's about halfway over. I guess technically, even though I'm just now starting to come into who I am. So it's been a real struggle. And one thing I want to say in terms of advice is it's really helped me to look at role models. So things I learned. Vera Wang designed her first dress when she was 40. Julia Child wrote her first cookbook at 39, had her first TV show at 51. Morgan Freeman got his first major part at 52. Alan Rickman, otherwise known as Professor Snape, he started acting at 42. And then another thing that's really helped me, and I don't know if you've done the same, is look at when I tell myself I'm too old for something, is it true? Is it big T true or is it little t true?
Little T true.
And little t true is it feels true to me. But then big T true is, okay, actually, how true is it? If I tell myself I can't go surfing because I'm too old, that's a little T truth. But big T, am I physically incapable of going surfing? My legs work. I don't know what else it takes to go surfing, but I think I could, maybe. And focus on the big T truths. And maybe it's I don't want to go surfing because I'd have to work out more, or I'd have to do something else I don't want to
Right.
do.
And those are the little T's that turn into the big T. You can move ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take it in steps.
So then I try to focus on perception. And then if I do something, how good will it feel when I succeed? Especially if I told myself I'm too old. So if I say I can't go surfing, but then at 45 you see me surfing down the waves in Hawaii, I will feel absolutely amazing and telling everybody all over Facebook, Twitter, and whatever social media is out at the time.
That's right. You will.
So what advice do you have for people that feel like they are too old?
Oh, my father always said, if you don't begin, you'll never end. Just do it.
I like
and
that.
that was, he said there always has to be a beginning. Just do it. You'll find out if you can do it. It might turn in a different direction, and you might even find something more fabulous than what you were thinking about. But you just don't give up. You don't stop. You don't go sit in a chair, because that's when you're not going to be able to do it unless you get that motivation. This is something I'm going to do someday.
I like that.
Yeah, and then pick one that you
do if you can't.
You can't do it all.
Yeah.
You know, and at once.
Now, what about? I know one of the big things that stops people is fear. There's a lot of fears when you say go do this thing that you've never done before and you don't know if you're going to succeed.
Yes.
How do you handle the fear?
I always just okay, when I had my real estate business and for years, 25 years, and I didn't know how am I going to manage, how am I going to get a space, how am I going to do it? And I just made the commitment, and I'd go down to Staples, get everything I need, and I'd look at things and say, I have to be more modern, I have to modernize this. Even if it's a year later, I'm changing the printer and changing this and that. You just do it. I went out and you know, when you think about something enough, it materializes. And like my spaces, they materialized. Amazing. I've had 3 shops, and my last shop, I had a smaller space that was getting really cluttered and making it difficult to work. So I said, how am I going to get out of this? I hired an intern who said she would help me, and I said, I have to go get a massage after I hired her. I'm going to go get a massage, and I'm on the massage table, and the girl that was giving me the massage, my cousin, said, I'm going to be moving, you know, and I said, where are you going? She said, I'm giving up the space. So she left the room, and I said, this is perfect. It had 6 rooms, 2 bathrooms. I said, I'm going to do it. And so she came in, and I said, I'm interested in the space. And the next thing you know, I signed an agreement in 3 days.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and I had the space for 6 years after I graduated. And then I gave it up in 2011. But see, things materialize if you think about them enough and you try to plan them. And even if it goes on the back burner, it'll come back out again. That's why that white sheet of paper.
No, what is this white sheet of paper?
Well, I had a head injury once, and I had to go for training, cognitive therapy. And when I was there, she said to me, get yourself a big, like at Staples or someplace, a big piece of white cardboard, and just write everything on it that you want to do and tackle, even if it's cleaning up your piles, moving to a new space, going to acting classes, whatever. A family, make sure you include your family and everything.
Okay.
And then start drawing circles around them and lines to connect them to the areas they should be connected to. And then roll it up and put it away. And then take it out again.
Okay.
In 6 months. And I was amazed. I took it out, and almost all of the things that I had circled had come to fruition.
Really?
Yes, they materialized.
So you didn't have an actual concrete plan for making them happen, but just having put it out there and said, this is what I want, you subconsciously and the universe gave to you, it just happened.
But in each circle where you have a line item that you're going to take care of, some area of your life that you're going to develop, you're bringing in the other lines because you're writing everything down. The paper is big enough. So now you've got a connection and then a sub subcategories, so you really do have a plan.
Oh.
But you can go look at the paper anytime you want, but you'd be amazed because after I looked at it a few months ago. I did this 1998 after I started at Harvard, and I still look at it now and I say, I can't believe everything that I wrote there I've done. I got to make a new paper.
Would you mind if I took a look at your paper and put it up on Facebook so that some of our audience who may want to see what that looks like?
No,
would
not
you
at
mind?
all.
I mean, even if we created a sample one.
Yeah, not at all.
Okay, cool.
That would be good.
So what's next for you?
Next for me, I want some speaking roles. That's what I want. And I may want to do more directing.
Okay.
Because I really like it. And I have directed before. I directed Shakespeare for high school students, and I directed my own television show years ago. So, but this, I loved doing the short film because it was so much fun. And so I want to do that. And I want to travel. I travel all over the world. And I have done a lot of traveling, but I'm going to do more of it. I'd like to live 6 months out of the year in Italy, in a small village. I already know where I'm going to live.
And you have a room for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can come and visit anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my plan, and some of my plan, and just really enjoy retirement and enjoy writing. I want to write for Imagine, and
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna be doing lots of things.
This is retirement?
This is my retirement because it was things that I dream of. My husband always says to me, my husband Danny is very supportive, and he says to me, I want you to be happy. I want you to do it. You want to be happy. He said, life's too short.
All right, now I'm going to ask you. I know someone. She's in her 40s, and she wants to go back to school, but she's got her husband, her kids, her work, her life. Change is hard. What advice would you give her?
Well, I did it when I was in my real estate, doing real estate appraisals and having my real estate company and hiring 5 people and all of that. I went back to school, but I did have to look at what I could cut back on, maybe some fun, because you can still have fun in other ways, and getting the support of your family the best way you can.
Okay.
They might not, like in acting, a lot of the families don't support you when you say, I want to become an actress. Right?
True.
So, but you can get support in a lot of different ways. And you can just say, this is what I'm going to do, or I'm not going to be happy. I mean, I'd be a better wife if I'm happy. As a matter of fact, I have a little plaque that's in my kitchen. It says, happy wife, happy life.
I've seen that magnet. Yeah, it's true though.
That's the first thing that your friend needs to work on. Get a little plaque that says happy wife, happy life.
My mom has one that says, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
There you go. There you go. And then you just bite it off in little pieces that aren't so overwhelming. And just go for it. And before you know it, it's happened.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you. This has been the Katherine Cook Show. And I hope watching this show you realize Aaliyah had a point. Age ain't nothing but a number. And what have you not been doing because you felt that you might be too old to do it? I want to hear about that, and I want to hear about your plan for getting beyond it and what you're going to do next. Feel free to email me at katherine.cook@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you because I know you got this.